Hey,
Hi everyone, how are you doing?
how are you doing?
Very good. I'm in a cold and rainy Nottingham right now, backstage before my acoustic show tonight. But great to be around the UK playing to new faces every night, so it's lovely.
The true Brit in me really wants to talk about the fact that it's rained every single day in the UK in 2026, but we're not going to do that. I've had a little peek at your shoes already because you showed them
Huh?
before we went live.
Oh,
I feel like they're
lovely.
wasted without showing them. So yeah, and the yellow socks.
Oh,
I feel like that's great.
strong yellow. Can't go wrong with a strong sock.
So on brand, you're at a record store now. Which one are you at again?
I'm at Rough Trade at the minute,
Mm.
so I'm performing here tonight. And then I've got a week off, and then we do it all over again. We're going right around the UK in March. So we're going to London, Manchester, Bristol, Newcastle, etc. And yeah, the life of a touring musician.
Oh my God,
Good fun.
busy. And I understand you've already, because we start the record club with a question from one of the many amazing record stores across the UK. And I understand that you've already visited Asahi in Dundee. I hope I'm saying that
Yes.
right. Yeah, they've said Callum did an in-store tour around all the acai shops last week, and they've got a couple questions for you. Actually, they sent a handful, but some of them aligned with mine. So I'm going to ask the two that I didn't know about. They said Callum had a bit of an audience participation singing a part of a track that he'd intended for strings, but said he couldn't afford them. Would he ever want to go all in and make a BBC Proms style orchestral version of the album?
Oh, I would absolutely love that. Strings are my favourite instrument. I actually had the pleasure of playing with a 21-piece orchestra the other week there, and the Scottish Symphony Orchestra, and we were singing songs from a famous Scottish poet called Rabbie Burns, which is Old Scots. And I thought I knew Old Scots, talking at the school, slang and stuff like that, but it was incredibly difficult. So hopefully I done a good job. But listen, absolutely, I always try and put strings in my music. And there are real strings on this album. We just had to get 4 players to play them kind of as many times as we could to make it sound big. But I would love to just have everyone in a room and doing it properly.
I bet that would feel amazing, like with the kind of back. I imagine with a band as a musician just having that backing, but then with strings as well.
Oh man, honestly, it's so emotional. Um, it just brings out the spirit of the song. I think it's it can make people reduce to tears, um, even with no lyrics. Just listening to it, it's an emotional instrument. So I love it. It's my favourite one.
Um, Aside Andy have come in with actually two cheeky questions. So the second one says Callum also mentioned that his songs always start life as country songs. So they want to know, will he ever go full Beyonce or Post Malone and release a full-on country record?
Nah, I think it. I'm a great believer in staying true to yourself and staying authentic. And my favourite music is indie music. Loads of rock bands and anthemic music. Um, but the songs I do have, they can be um, delivered in a country way. I mean, I guess all music is country to a certain extent, um, but certainly they are country songs made indie, and it's not intentional. It's just the way that I write, really. But yeah, they could be presented in any form, really, which is normally a good sign of a good song. So I'll take that.
Well, big ups to Asahi and Dundee. Thank you so much for your question. Let's get into the album. And let's start with actually the title of the record. So, Indie is not a title track, which is actually custom these days. Was that like a specific decision? At what point did the record become called Indie? Like, what's the story?
Well, I wanted a word that wasn't a word that really meant anything, first of all. But of course, it's my first independent album, so it's self-funded, completely done myself, my manager. Um, and a lot of the songs were written about someone who their nickname was Indie. So it all tied together. I thought it was perfect. And I thought I wanted a word that said something other than love and togetherness and summed up everything. So I came up with the idea to be more indie, be more loving, be more, you know, be cooler to people. And yeah, I just thought it's a statement. I like it. And people can research it for themselves rather than having like a title that people go, all right, you know, it's exactly what it says on the tin. I like people to investigate a little bit. And so hence why my last album was called Vandals, one word as well. And people looking at that and go, right, well, obviously it can't just mean the guy's going about drawing graffiti everywhere, is it? So I wanted to do exactly the same.
And yeah, let's touch on that. So from the last record to this record, there's been some big changes for you. I know that going independent it's always a bit of a statement when it comes to artists, and I'm always so interested with what comes out next because I always feel like it's a real like throwing into the public like what your identity really is and truly is. And I feel like you've really captured that with both hands. Like you mentioned, you've got this anthemic like indie feel. It's so definitive in this record. It's such a like such an album's worth of music sonically. Like you can listen to any song and just know it's off that.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I wanted to, well, my past experiences with record labels, I know everybody's different, but for me, I felt like I was being asked to be someone I'm not. And I tried it for many years because I thought I was young and I was naive and I thought, well, these guys must know best, you know. But they were trying to turn me into the male Dua Lipa at one point. I was like, one, I can't dance. Two, I'm not handsome enough. And three, I want to write my own songs and I want to do things my way. And it was never about fame and fortune. It was much more deeper, the reason I started writing songs. So when people start sort of fucking with your art a little bit, I found it deeply uncomfortable. And I just thought, if I believe in these songs and I believe that I know enough about music that I can do it myself, then I'll do it myself. And ironically, it's the first album I've had that's went in the top 5 and sold over 12,000 copies or whatever in the first week. So it's a real lesson and hopefully inspiration to other artists that, you know, you can do it on yourself. Yes, it's going to take 10 times the amount of work. Financial backing is going to be a real issue, but good songs always find a way, you know. And I would hate to be famous and skint. What's the point of that? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Facts. Yeah, let's talk about the album. Where did it begin for you? Which song did it begin with? And when you approached it, were you approaching it like, right, I'm going to write an album? Or are
You're
the
gonna.
songs that
This
you've
is
written?
absolutely mental, and I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I've just bought these shoes, and what
They have
the fuck,
broken. What's
dude?
happened?
They have like just evaporated off my foot. Look at this. This is for.
What do you mean?
Oh my god, man.
We've had dogs on the record
So,
club before, but not evaporated
so
shoes.
I put the shoes on this table, right? And I was like, oh, that must be muck coming off the shoe. Look at fucking that.
Oh my God, what the hell? I hope you got
What
the receipt.
the holy have you ever seen anything like that in your life before?
No, I actually haven't.
What
I've broken
is
many.
it like an allergic reaction to the table or something? I think it is. Anyway, this is the weirdest interview you've probably ever.
This is actually a
Look at this.
crisis.
Let's
You're
stay at my shoe now.
after.
Let's stay at my
Oh,
shoe now. Look at Robin Hood. Just as well I've got another pair. That is absolutely mind blowing.
wow.
Look at it's literally just falling apart. Fucking £100 it cost him. Right. Anyway,
You've been
there you go.
shafted there.
I got shafted
Forming in
big
your
time.
socks.
I know. Right. I'm back. I'm back with the George Coxes. They never let you down. Let me tell you that.
Do George Cox's.
That is insane. Have you ever seen anything like it? It must be like a chemical reaction or something.
Damn.
Fuck. All right.
That
Well,
is a
got shafted there, didn't I?
powerful feat situation.
Sorry about that.
No, don't apologise to me.
Those interviews are the best anyway. Do you know what I mean?
This is what's going to get clipped up and shared. The disintegrating shoe.
100%.
Well, if you write a song about
That's what they order.
stay on brand. Well, that's. I'm sorry about the shoe situation. We were just admiring them as well.
I can't. That's absolutely wild, man.
Can't believe that. Okay, well,
Anyway,
you know, yeah. Let's talk about the album. Do you have a record there at all? Or?
I don't actually. They are downstairs in the shop.
It's
I could take
okay.
you down. I could take you down to find one, but I don't know if the Wi-Fi will.
Order one. Yeah, order one from your local record store. Okay, well, let's talk about where this album started then. Which was the first song that appeared on the record?
The first song I wrote on the record was "Bed Is Burning," and I thought, right, this is starting to feel like I'm ready to write an album, and because I'd written other songs, of course, but whether they were going to go on or not, I knew that one was definitely going on. And so I basically decided, right, well, let's just sort of paint the story around it. And yeah, that sort of set the tone, I guess, of the record. And from there, the songs just came easy. Yeah, the last song I wrote on the record was a song called Sound of Sirens. And you can feel the journey of it because you've went from something that's relatively safe with Bed Is Burning, although it's quite sexualized in the lyric. But with Sound of Sirens, again, there's that danger element to the lyric. But
I can't lie, I was listening to that in my headphones on the street and I was like, did he? And just had to restart the song.
I just thought, like, how can I come up with the most sort of manipulative first line you can have? So that's what I was like,
I even checked the lyrics, and they've spelled some things wrong, but anyway.
That's to get radio to buy into it. He's like, oh, he's not meaning that, he means something else. And I thought, well, where's the worst place you could ever have sex, I guess? And I just thought, well, it's in the lyrics, so.
How is that? Is this a story or is it based on?
Well, I've used the words church to describe something else, but I thought there's a double header there. I liked it, so I thought I'm going with that. And then I thought people are going to fight me on this. I mean, if I was with a record label, they'll never let me do that. And so that's what feels so liberating about being independent and do what I want when I want. And it's my art, like it or lump it.
Yeah. So hang on, has a label told you before to tweak your lyrics?
Dude, they destroyed songs in the past. Like, honestly, I had a song, like, even the simple lyrics, like, I had one that said I was, the word damaged I used, right? I was like, a little bit damaged. And they're like, if you want this song to be universally accepted, you're going to have to change that line. I'm like, but you're just taking all the balls out of the record. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what it is. Like, that's why you liked the record in the first place. I can categorically tell you that. And of course, anything they come up with is genius, apparently. So I was forced to change it. And now I hate the song. So that's just, that's the record industry for you.
Okay. Look, we're going to get to questions shortly that are coming in. I can see a few coming in. But I would like to know, I've heard that there is a story behind the track Sunflower that should be shared with our viewers because apparently it had the entire audience at Callum's Dundee in-store welling up. So I wonder if you could share that with us.
Yeah, okay. So this is going to take a wee while, but bear with me. So I do a lot of charity work and I'm the proud patron of mental health charities and children with terminal illnesses and homelessness. And just at the weekend there we hit £1 million that I've raised in the last 3 years for all those charities. And one of the things about the charity is that you get to know a lot of people, and it's quite difficult because they become friends. I can't even describe how difficult it is when it's children. Do you know what I mean? That's really harrowing at times. Anyway, there was a beautiful wee girl called Paige, and she had a terminal illness. So I went around to her house and I played her some songs, some new ones and some songs that she liked. And she said to me, Callum, I'm going to give you sunflower seeds, and I'd like you to plant them. And then every year they come round, it'll remind you of me. So I thought that's a really beautiful thing. So I planted them, and I came home. I live on my own, so there's no way this could happen, but the plant had moved from one side of the room to the other. And I was freaking out thinking, right, you know, somebody's been in my house. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking, is this some sort of joke or something? Or is somebody sending me a message? I was freaking out, you know? So I told my manager, he was like, mate, I see sunflowers everywhere. And I was like, yeah, but, you know, Ukraine, different things happen in the world. I wouldn't read too much into it. So anyway, the months pass. Poor Paige has passed away at this point, maybe about 6 months. And my granny passed at the same time. And so I felt like they were always around me, you know. And I'd always talk to my granny and ask her for help for different things and things. Anyway, I walked on the stage this one day. I was playing Belladrum Festival. And this guy, just before I walked on stage, says, hey, Callum, I just want to give you a sunflower. And he put it in my pocket. I thought, that's so weird, you know, like who does that? Especially when they don't know what it means to me, you know. So my manager's laughing because he's like, well, you know, do you believe now? I says, nah, not yet. And so anyway, the next again week, we fly to Switzerland. We're playing a festival in Switzerland. And there's sunflowers on our dressing room table. And he says, "Do you think that's weird?" I says, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's getting a bit weird now, right? And he says, come on, we'll go and watch the support band. So the band was from Sweden, and they all walked on stage with sunflower costumes on, right? I mean, like,
Get a bit
full on,
now, yeah.
dressed as a human sunflower, basically. And I thought, right, that is weird. And I looked at this guy and I said to myself, you guys are going to have to give me something better than that, you know. And so that night we drove 5 hours to Zurich airport. There was nobody in the airport, maybe like one flight a week going from Scotland to Zurich. And nobody on the flight. It was like 10 of us. Now, if you do the maths, it's like winning a lottery ticket. You know, Paige had passed maybe 9 months. And this wee girl ran up to me and she says, hey, Callum. I was kind of surprised, you know, so in Zurich, it wasn't in Scotland. She goes, I was friends with Paige. And I said, oh, it kind of took me. And then I looked at her T-shirt and she had Paige's Foundation T-shirt on with a sunflower on it. And I thought, well, that is weird. I says, because why would you be wearing the T-shirt 9 months after, be on that flight the night that I'm basically saying, I need you to give me something else. So whether it was my granny or Paige or whoever it was. But to top it off, I decided, right, I've got to write a song called Sunflower. So I went away, I wrote the song, tried to not make it too emotional, more anthemic and keeping with my music. But as long as I knew that the message was what it was, you know what I mean? So I wrote this lovely song, and I thought I'll play it to my manager and see what he thinks. So we're on tour, and I say, this song's called Sunflower. I'll play it to you. So we played it in the van, the tour van, and all the band are listening, and they're nodding their head going like this. And then my manager nudges me and goes, look, and a little girl walked across the road in front of the van with sunflowers in her hand.
Oh.
Is that absolutely incredible? Now, I know a lot of people don't believe in stuff, but I feel like I know now, you know, and it's not from like a sort of narcissist thing. It's more like a humble knowing that there's something, you know. So it's a very beautiful song to me, and it's a very simple message. And the reason I wrote it was like, what would my granny say to me when I'm struggling? She'd always say, like, she would say something like, it's all right, sunflower, like, get over it, you know, it's all right, sunflower. So I thought, right, that's the lyric, let's go with that.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to hear that without crying now. Jesus. Callum.
Well, the song's quite, it's fair, it's mid-tempo and it's upbeat, so it stops people getting too upset, you know.
Yeah.
You could have prevented it in a sort of um, Adele format, you know, like do 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 and all that. I just thought, nah, it's just be you and just play the song, you know.
Someone's going to cover it one day and it's just going to be this like heart-wrenching tune. But oh, that's such
Yeah.
an incredible story. Thank you for sharing that, Callum.
I bet
We have to.
this is an interview you will never forget.
No,
The disappearing shoe,
interview.
some sort of mad like chemistry going on with the table, and now like some spooky stuff as well.
Yeah, wow. Well, I have to get to people getting involved, sending in their questions, so we have to get to those. Ruthie on the Record Club's Instagram is saying your merchandise says be more indie. How would you encourage your fans to carry that message across day to day in their lives?
I guess just being yourself and being confident in yourself that you're unique, you're your own person. There's no one else on planet Earth that is remotely like you, and you should celebrate that. Be yourself, you know, even all your traumas and your worries and your insecurities. It's all part of who you are, and it's part of your journey. And there's a reason that you're like that, and it should be celebrated as a beautiful thing, not a burden. Be more indie.
Moira on the Record Club's Instagram says, I seem to remember last year there was word of a book being written by you and Dave. Is this still happening? P.S.
Yes,
Had the best time at Acai Aberdeen on Saturday.
yes, it is happening. It just takes a little bit time to sort out things with publishers and different things like that. I don't think we're going to bother with a publisher because we like to do things independently, but that takes a lot more time. So we just need to make sure it's right. And also in the book, it's like, yes, I speak about where I wrote the album. And when I'm sitting there writing the album, I was writing the book at the same time. So when I'm on the couch and my producer's busy tidying up the track and stuff, I've just been writing about what the songs are and what part of my life that came from. The one worry that is taking a little while, if I'm completely honest, is I do talk about a lot of my early childhood traumas, and there's a lot of stuff that people close to me don't have a clue about, and so I need to be careful that I'm not going to open a can of worms and upset people. Because that's not what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? So, but equally, I can't. I'm a very honest person. I can't. I don't see the point in doing something if you're not just gonna do it for yourself and you know put it out there and help other people. So it's this. I've got a lot of an inner battle at the minute to work out how do I get my point across without it being too upsetting.
We have a PC on the Record Club's YouTube who says, do you believe in lucky charms and do you have one when you're going on tour?
Well, I've got an indie chain, and on the back has got my granny's face on it. So that's my lucky charm. And I'll tell you another wee spooky story the other night there. We went out to celebrate the album being top 5. And unlike England at the minute, in Scotland, a lot of people know who I am now. So I can't just sit in a bar and get frazzled, basically, right? Because everybody will see it. And then the cameras will be out, oh, he's... So I just thought, no, let's go to the casino. That way you're not on your phone at all. So we went to the casino, and I thought, right, I'll spend 300 quid, and then if I lose it, I'll be gutted, but it's not the end of the world. Do you know what I mean? So I was sitting at the table, and they're very serious in these places, and I can't be serious. I can't do it. So there was guys folding their arms, you know, and they're kind of looking, going, these are guys I knew, you know. Either that or he maybe knew who I was, I don't know. So I was sitting at the table, and I thought, I'm just going to wind them up and pretend that I'm some sort of medium, right? But equally, I was asking my granny for a number between 1 to 39. And I went, right, Granny, really loud. I says, Granny, you tell me what number it is. This is the one. This is the one. So I'm rubbing it like this, making a big deal of it. And I went, 21, all in. So I stuck all £300 on 21. And everyone's looking, going, this guy's absolutely off his nut. Well, it came in.
Pull through, Gran. Oh
Yeah,
my
you
God.
could imagine the casino's face gone, nah, we're going to have to check the cameras and everything on this one.
Oh my God, yeah, I bet they like properly checked you out from that. That's insane. Wait, hang on. How much does one win from something like that?
I can't tell you, but it's
Did you cash in after that? Please tell me you did.
Of course it did. I actually thought, I'm not even joking, because people think he's pocketed himself. I'm not. I'm going to put it to the INDI Foundation, which I've started, which is going to help kids with similar backgrounds to myself to find a way of expressing their emotions and writing songs. So I'm going to teach them how to write songs, and even if it's just poetry and they have no musical talent, that's totally fine as well. We'll find a way of making things better. And we're also building a music school in Ghana for the kids, because I was doing some work out there earlier on last year. So that's the plan. But I'm probably going to need to raise maybe about 200 grand. But it's a good start.
Marissa on the Record Club's Instagram says, what was your favourite track to write on the album? And is there a track you think you should have made the cut for the album? I'm assuming she means one that didn't make the album that you think should have made the cut.
Yeah. So
Assume that.
the song I enjoyed writing the most, probably Sound of Silence, just because I was surprised that how well it worked, considering the lyrical content at the start was kind of controversial. I thought people might go, oh, that's a bit like, it's not something you hear nowadays. Well, Taylor Swift's not going to write it, is she? So I thought, right, yeah, that's probably one that I thought, fair play, mate. And also because it was the last song on the album, it synced itself on. I went, holy moly, this is actually really good. So that. But yes, there was actually quite a few songs I never put on. One of them will go on the next record, but the only reason I didn't put it on is because it has the same word as another song on the record, and I just thought maybe I'll look at maybe changing that lyric, but it is the title lyric, so the word's fire, by the way. I thought I can't, so I thought, you know what, hold off, let them breathe and stick it on another record. But it's a very good song, so I was a bit gutted not putting that on. The only one I was a bit frightened to put on was a song called Birthday, because I was scared that people wouldn't delve into the art of it or the lyrical content.
Well, I thought it was going to be a birthday tune, but it's kind of not.
Yeah, I was worried they're going to go,
Yeah.
like, why is he writing a Mika song? Or like, you know, I don't know, something a bit, do you know what I mean? Hey, it's your birthday.
Well, it's one that will get tagged on Instagram on every birthday, but
exactly.
probably
I say hello to my manager, Dave, this minute. Dave, I need to tell you about the shoe situation. We've had a chemical reaction, mate.
It's been a drama.
I put my foot on the table and it fucking burnt. So I don't know. Maybe it's haunted in here or something. I don't know.
Possibly. Well, I'm going to leave you to sort that, because that's actually what we have time for, which is really sad. I obviously wanted to commend you for the short film as well, for Two Pretenders. So many questions. Right. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you, obviously, Callum Beattie, so much for joining us. Everyone at home listening, you need to get your hands on a physical copy of INDI. Yep. Mine is on the way. We don't recommend the shoes that Callum was wearing, but he
won't recommend these guys.
They look like slippers now. Oh my God. Pick one up from your local record store, support your local. Also excited to announce that the winner of this week's wireless headphones prize is Ruthie on the Record Club's Instagram. Slide into the Record Club's DMs, we'll get those headphones to you. My name's Jess Iszatt. Thank you so much for joining us and sending in your questions, everyone. This and all previous episodes are available for you to watch back on Spotify or YouTube. I will see you for the next episode of the Record Club, but for now, Callum Beattie, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jess. It's been an absolute pleasure.